We have bots that we set up to stream on Discord and on YouTube. So we're just making sure those are set up. Then we're gonna get the show started.
Nice.
Sounds like a
You
plan,
stay cute.
man.
Enjoy the show.
Stay cute.
Thank you.
And don't raise your hand if you
Love
have
you.
anything to say. Just yeah.
Oh, just stay quiet.
No.
Or just say it.
Oh, just say it.
Oh, okay. I thought it was gonna be whipped.
Yeah.
What was that?
There's no
That's a
cameras in
different
the
show.
theater,
It's a
you
picture.
uncultured swine.
It hasn't started yet. Here, take a selfie.
Oh, the
She's playing
fucking
Candy
rules,
Crush.
Cat.
You're just
You just hear
not
Candy
keeping
Crush
up.
blasting in the back.
Bro,
fucking
looking
row.
Like, what the hell's happening?
Oh, have you got the stamina today?
Say cheese, guys.
Cheese,
guys.
guys.
Jeez.
There you go. I got a good photo right there.
That'll be
Oh, I gotta switch
$5.
the stage because King hasn't done it yet.
You have to pay us now, each.
Yeah.
$5 each.
There's a bill for our
Each.
services. You don't hire people and just
I'll
not
just
pay.
delete it. then.
$5 too buku.
You'll delete it.
No.
Yesterday was Jethro World one of those guys
Yeah.
$5 both. $5
from
both.
yesterday?
Oh,
Here we go,
$5
guys.
too-
Something's
too buku.
happening.
From-
Something's happening.
Well, from the incident yesterday.
What
Do you
incident?
remember the list of the?
That's the name that's
Oh,
Oh,
just
they're up there. They're up
yeah,
above us.
I
yeah.
love you,
Yeah.
Papa.
Up here.
Oh, Jesus. Yes. Yes. Perfection.
Yeah, it's fucking losers.
Oh, there's
They're funny.
upper seats up here. I'm
So
gonna
you
go
see
up
my
there.
Yeah,
dad?
if you guys want to sit up here,
Where's my dad?
Since he went for a pack of smokes.
I'm putting
Oh,
my
you
controllers
can't
down
get
so I have
any
my
VIP.
hands.
I don't think you can use your hands on this, can you?
Yeah, follow me.
Really?
Come here.
no, that's
I
paid.
don't think so.
No, there's
You
other
can
balcony
get up there. You can
seating.
get up there. You just went to the wrong spot. Come.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you get out of here, cat. You fucking
Are they
peasant.
stuck?
You
Yeah.
bitch.
Oh, look at you guys
really can't use
directing
your
the
hands in this
women.
game?
How cute.
Hey,
I
look
know.
at
That's
everybody.
cool. Thank you. Thank
Heavy.
you.
No problem.
Tony
Anybody else?
Montana.
You guys are like Yeah. official ushers.
Tony Montana.
Olive!
Montana.
I
Tony
should have
Montana.
recorded that. Oh, shit, you scared me.
I snuck up on Wind yesterday and scared the
Olive,
fuck out of
Finn.
her.
Montana.
Yeah, he did.
It's easy to do.
Like
No,
I actually
no,
saw
no,
her
no.
arms
You
go
stay
up.
your
and
ass
she's
up
like,
there.
I was
Get
like,
away from
for
me,
real?
heathen.
I did one of those
Get
like,
away from me, heathen.
oh my gosh, I almost
Right up here.
screamed.
scared the absolute fuck out of her.
No,
Yes, he did.
Hey, what's up, man?
just kidding.
What's up, buddy?
She was going around.
Yo.
She went out by the friend zone and she was on the deck of the boat, but she didn't realize I was behind her. And as soon as
Yeah,
she turned around, I was
missed
like,
your coronation last night.
I was like,
Oh man, that's cool.
I watched that today.
He's good at that.
Congratulations.
Oh, did you?
hey,
Oh, thank you.
Hey,
What'd you
kid,
get
hey,
coronated
hey,
into?
I punched my son in the face
Hey.
one time.
Oh, I
Oh
became
my
a
God.
host
Papa's
and
on.
producer.
It
Nice.
was an
Oh,
accident.
oh,
It
sorry.
really
Yeah, thank-
was.
Yeah,
My son
so
always tries to
I've
blame everybody.
been hosting the beta show, which is a different show that we have here.
Cat's like,
Why
But
did you-
last night was my first night working the
Why
booth.
are sons like that?
Nice.
I don't know.
So he
But
gets to
hates
wield
when we
the
do it back
sword.
to him.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
How do you feel with all that power?
One
Yeah, how do you feel with all that power?
doorway. I'm just
I
like,
don't know.
Oh, hey, it
walking
feels
away.
great.
When is this starting?
But yeah, normally this place is a
What are we
Columbia
waiting
Club.
for?
We only
Is
kind of do
Emmy
this
coming?
one night a
Who's
week.
the fourth on
But
stage?
I believe Texas 3 is not going to be.
Yeah, we're gonna start really
tomorrow.
soon.
It's like a
Voice not working?
bi-weekly. But
you
Thursday, if you guys enjoy comedy shows, we have only professional comedians on
I
Thursdays.
mean, you didn't have to
So
put it
that's
in
an
Wynn's
8:30
mouth,
Eastern
but-
time. You'd have to make sure you're here on time because the room has to
I-
fill up quick.
Hi.
When's the
But I
new
believe we
Can't hear
actually
you.
are going to have an after party in the drug den as soon as this is over.
Yes,
That's-
there's still Tacos
Yes.
Tuesday and
Yes,
Sundays.
you are gonna love it. I swear to God. I can just tell already.
You get the fuck
stay
out of
for
here,
it.
cat. What did I tell you?
felt
We got
lonely
shrimp.
up
What did I
there.
tell you? No,
See?
Animals.
No.
No,
We got drinks.
absolutely not.
There we go.
Oh, what's up, Papa?
I promise you, we're gonna get fucked up.
Yeah. Fuck yeah.
Man, I'm on the second page now. Who is
Yo,
knocked me
you.
down to the second page?
What's up, lagging?
You hold Papa's hand?
Rusty?
Who to what?
Cliff?
You hold Papa's hand?
Steve
What's my
Ross.
name?
No.
Man, you just keep rising.
He's complimenting you.
His name's my damn way, bro.
That's how he compliments females?
Yeah, it's his culture.
When?
Hold Papa's hand.
That's
Still
his
there?
calling.
I'm
Did
Give
you
you a
here.
5. How
Did you
about
ever get
that?
your honey?
No. You hold.
My honey. It just was. I just got
Not good.
notification that
That's
it
how
was
you
delivered
embrace.
today,
Here, do
so
it to me.
it's
Do
at
it to
my
me, Josh.
office.
I'll show her
I
how
didn't
it's
work
done.
today,
Yes,
so-
yes. Hold Papa's hand.
But it is.
Wait,
at
you
my
gotta make the
office
noise.
Waiting for me.
Ah!
How
Okay.
I
That's
will
it.
What's that
try
from?
it. I was thinking of streaming it live.
What is that from?
It's cultural.
Hold
So
it
like
from?
everybody
Papa's
can
hand.
experience me.
He's
tripping
German.
on mad
Venga
items.
Schwani.
You don't
can't
sound
believe how
German.
long
You
it
sound
took
like
Venga
to
Schwani.
get
Osama
Like,
bin
they send it
Laden,
by
not bin
freaking-
Laden.
Venga Schwani.
something or llama.
It sounds
Probably
Jewish.
It's come from Nepal, right?
Can you hear me?
It did
I'm
come from
straight.
Nepal,
Thanks.
yes.
Hold.
Yes, King, yes.
I can hear you.
Yes.
All right.
Well, he's
I
not.
hear you now.
He's
It's all
not
sweaty.
straight.
You don't want it
I can.
Why are they sweaty?
because it's 108 degrees here.
You just not have air conditioning. You're just outside.
Why is my voice setting thing like in my
I'm
face?
inside. You think I'd be outside with this thing?
She likes to sleep inside of her oven.
Yes,
Yep.
that's what it is.
I
I like to
I've
keep
been
my
on the
oven on
August
with
with
the
people
door
that
open
said
to
that.
heat my house.
Hey! No phones in the theater.
I'm sorry. Hold on. Let me mute myself. Give me a second. Oh no.
The fuck out of here, cat. What did I tell you?
I dropped my arm.
No phones. Jesus Christ. Horseshit.
You guys are bullies.
Here you go. Who needs
Sorry
a
about that.
drink?
Hold Papa's hand.
Why don't you hold?
Who needed a
Man.
drink?
Man.
Was it one of you guys?
Yeah, I'm getting thirsty trying
Thank
to
you.
Yeah,
find
they really need an X.
convince this
Oh, he just
fucking
dropped it.
creature. Hold Papa's
Can you
hand.
give him
You
another
drink.
one so he's got something in his other hand, so I don't have to hold it?
Yeah, 40% not quitting that shit. So
I mean,
first
it's
station
pretty
theater.
insulting not to. So.
You're being pretty
how
disrespectful.
is
You
it
only have to
insulting?
do it for a second. This is like going
Well,
into
it's
someone's
not being
house that
fake,
cooked
it's
food and
fucking-
not eating the food.
Yeah, you just
Except
spit on
for-
the fucking table.
Except for I
The-
come here a lot more than y'all, so this is my house.
That's what she said.
Hold Papa's hand.
Damn.
That's not what. She's being so mean.
You guys want to see a magic trick?
Yes,
Jeez.
please.
I'm
I'm gonna
actually
make
very
this
nice.
this here disappear.
Look,
okay?
look.
Do
look.
it.
Watch this.
Hold Papa's
Do it.
hand.
Watch this.
Cliff, are these
Oh,
yours?
where'd it go?
Hey. Hold Papa's hand.
It's in his eyes.
See?
He slapped it. Just
Where'd
like
it
Hey,
go?
hold.
It's in a different room.
He did it long enough to transfer the powers.
to transfer the sexual energy. I mean,
Exactly.
here. Trust.
Hold Papa's hand.
Okay, you can go right
It's up
there.
here, I
and
got
hold
it.
that
Get
hand.
that- See, Crow's got
No,
it.
no,
She's
Yeah,
making
but
you go.
You
there.
have to put in effort or it's not consent.
Does
You're
that
the
door
one who
actually
wants
lead to
it.
anything
Oh,
other than
Papa's
just a
hand.
fake door?
Deal with this.
Wow, that's so disrespectful.
I feel like this is like a weird trick.
You'll see once you do it.
Right.
Oh,
my
thank
gosh.
you.
Oh my
Jesus
gosh.
Christ, was that
Whoa.
fucking hard? Have a good night. Love you.
It probably
Good job.
is hard now, so see you
A
later.
little bit.
We're
in a public.
say like
you can't just point it
50%.
out.
This is a comedic theater
It's like 50%.
because of lagging.
It's like 5 7/8.
Yeah.
Hey, Roku.
Hey,
Oh my gosh, I haven't seen you in so long.
I know.
Hey,
Just- It's like we had like a
Hey,
really
hey, you.
huge festival in Quebec. So
You
it's like
you had a what?
What is a NERS?
They had huge testicles
Did you
in
need me?
Quebec.
No.
We
Hey,
do. We do.
over here, to your left.
What
To
is
your left.
MERS and
Oh, you like
NERS?
my name?
What's up, Roku?
It's a mercenary.
Thanks.
Hey,
Ah.
Hey, the crow.
Hey, what's up? Hey, did you see this out here?
He wants to immerse
Check it
her.
out. Kiss you.
Is that what he said?
You have a sick mind.
Wait.
Disgusting.
Why
can't fucking take you anywhere.
Well, I'm glad.
Hey,
to-
congratulations.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you very
Some
much.
major recognition. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Hey,
cool.
hey,
That's awesome. That's
Yeah.
so cool.
Hey, You'll have to come back to Joke Club sometime.
I want to come back. It's just like it's just like it's for the past 2 weeks we have.
But not
Binge
yes.
festival
Either of you
in Quebec.
email.
Whoa!
Why was she
Whoa,
saying
la,
that?
la.
I'm saying I have a
Every
dirty
single
mind, and
day
look at the
for
hand
12
gestures.
days. It's a show.
are you
on-
talking
Listen, we
about?
only do it when we stare at each
I'm
other.
fucking shooting
I
dice.
can
What did
see
you
that,
think I was
yeah.
doing? We're playing a fucking
We
game
have
over here.
religion, We have
And dice.
It's just like we had like
Yeah.
you-
And 7.
Dice.
Imagine
Oh, I got a
Dragons
6.
and-
Again.
I busted. I mean, I got the higher number.
Dice.
Oh shit, dude! Careful! It got me in the eye.
your dice is making your controller sticky.
That's all.
All the
I'll
keys
try to
don't
come
work
back next
anymore.
week.
Shit.
Like, next Monday I should be there.
Because of this little handsome man in his little sailor hat.
You're so
Yes.
beautiful.
I'm a mercenary. That's my pronoun.
I'm
Did you hear
not
my
even
joke?
making jokes here. Is that serious? Is that like really a thing?
Did you hear my joke?
Mercenary.
Roku?
Like mercenary, right?
Oh, okay. I mean, yeah. I mean, I guess if it's in the title, it's got to be
Silly
a fucking thing. You
goose.
can't just put.
I asked if it meant you want to immerse in her.
Maybe. I never thought of it that way, but it's like it
When
was
does this
mercenary.
start?
But
I
it's
thought
like,
that's
it's
what you were trying to say earlier.
no,
That's why I
it's
was
like
joking.
it's a mercenary. It's like it's the French version of mercenary. So it's
Oh.
like it's a mercenary.
We'll tap an X.
I thought you were playing the
Mercenary.
alphabet game with me.
Maybe. It's like it use word, and word are made of letters.
He's illiterate.
So it is.
I can't read, dude.
Words are
can't
made of
read.
letters?
Yes.
Whew.
They don't
You're
teach us
doing it
English in
wrong.
It's
America.
like,
I don't
when you
know.
break it down.
Half the alphabet.
Doing it all wrong.
I
I only know from A to 7.
Yeah,
Yep.
exactly.
What camera is that?
Don't worry about it.
This is not your camera. Whatever, it's on Crow.
Wait, whoa, yeah. What is that? Am I being recorded?
Oh, geez,
someone
been
behind the
so long
wall.
since last
Whoa.
time I came here.
Whoa,
It's like-
whoa,
Yeah.
he's following me.
yeah, yesterday we had like the.
Was there just an
last show.
invisible
It's like, yeah,
person?
It was so awesome. It was really cool.
No, I think they're behind the wall.
Well,
Maybe.
you know they
I
say
come
the wall have
in
ears, but I
pieces.
didn't know they had camera as well. So just like that's good.
I come in solids.
I wish.
Yeah.
God.
Cliff,
We were
are
checking
these
everybody
your
else
guys?
up there.
Where the
Trash,
fuck did
what's
Cat
going on?
go?
My what?
Are these
What's
your
going
guys?
on?
Who's this nerd?
I don't know who they are.
Oh. Got it.
Should be.
I think they
enemies.
came. They are definitely friends with each other because
Well,
they
that's
came in
obvious.
together.
Yeah.
Hey, y'all talking shit already?
Oh,
huh?
take your
Wonder
seat,
who they
huh?
followed.
Huh?
Live from
Talking
the
shit already?
Unknown Theater.
Remember that?
Tonight we have
Yeah.
Binge
It's
Nation.
okay, I forgive you. Sorry.
Welcome your host, Wind Magic, Dark Wolf, King Nothing, and Colin Aiken.
Yeah, man. How the fuck am I the only one whose real name is said? You gotta stop the music, King, before
I'm
you come
working
out.
on it. It's slow motion.
Get your head out of your ass. What are you doing?
Sorry, I was doing
All
cocaine.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Binge Nation, the Unknown Theater's interactive show with you guys in the crowd, where we talk about movies and TV shows that we watched after I assigned the homework the week before. Tonight, we are going to be talking about Cocaine Bear. Yay.
Yay!
And as I said, it is an interactive show with you guys in the crowd. If you've seen it, if you have comments, let us know, and we will get to you guys in just a little bit. So, I tried watching this fucking movie yesterday,
Which one?
Cocaine Bear.
Oh, I got you.
Yeah, peanut butter solution. We're gonna do next week because we're gonna do a watch party this weekend.
Oh, y'all didn't watch
Refer
that
to
one.
it
Okay.
as
Yeah.
this fucking movie.
Yeah, so this
You
fucking
mean this
movie
fucking
I watched.
masterpiece?
No. We're not at
boy.
fucking voice acting classes.
Oh,
This
boy.
fucking movie. So I put it on yesterday to watch it, and I could not keep my fucking eyes open. And I tried. At one point, I was even doing that thing where you sit there and hold your eyes open to just try not to fall asleep.
Me too.
And
Like
then
the
I
movie.
still like blinked and woke up a half an hour later into the movie. So, got some sleep last night. Had a bunch of shit to do this morning, and then when we sat down for supper, I put it on, watched it with the kids, and yeah, I mean,
it was a family.
It's a very
movie,
good
but
family
all right.
movie.
Yeah.
So for those who don't know
awesome
what Cocaine
family
Bear
movie.
is, it is a movie that is loosely based off of true events.
Yeah.
To the extent of what happened in real life, there was a plane that was flying over Georgia for some fucking reason, and it was loaded with cocaine, and the plane started going down, so they dumped about $20 million worth of cocaine out of the side of the door to the plane, and it fell in this national park, and then the guy who was throwing all the cocaine out, he strapped about 70 kilos to his body and tried to jump out the plane, got himself knocked out, and then his parachute failed on the way down, so he died. And then
I think he ended up in somebody's driveway.
Yeah, he ended up in somebody's driveway in Tennessee.
And he had like all this tactical night gear on and shit.
Yeah, and then so we're still talking about the real life part, and then the bear ate the rest of the cocaine and died within minutes from a brain hemorrhage and heart failure. So everything after that happens in the movie is totally fucking made up.
Yeah.
Was awesome.
Yeah.
You know, when I first started watching
should
it,
have happened. It's what should have happened.
Fuck.
when I first started watching it, I didn't realize it was a period piece until the lady had the phone ring at the bed and had to pick it up. I was like, oh, well, this must be back in the 80s.
Like, fuck, it's got a wire. Holy
It's
shit.
got a wire on it.
Yeah. Anybody under 20 in the audience at all? Anybody under 20 doesn't know what a wired phone looks like? Okay, we don't have to explain this shit. Okay,
They
perfect.
walked
All right,
into the
moving on.
girl's room and it had like every poster any 80s kid would have had.
What a kick in the nuts that this was Ray Liotta's last movie.
Oh, I was about to say
Yeah.
Are you serious? Oh,
Yeah.
my
Yeah.
God.
It was his last
He
movie.
actually he died. It was either 1 or 2 weeks after he went back to the studio to re-record some of his dialogue.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, they dedicated
He
the
probably
movie.
died after he watched the
And they
dailies.
did dedicate the movie.
He's like, oh fuck.
Well, no. Apparently, he told Elizabeth Banks that he was really impressed with the bear. So, yeah. But I mean, so like I said, the movie starts with the guy throwing all the shit out the plane, and then it does like the opening sequence, and then you see Tormund Giantsbane from fucking Game of Thrones lying on a rock with his beloved. And it's so funny to hear him talk. I love his accent, and he still has the big fucking orange beard, so I was really happy with that too. And they're talking about naming their child Texas, and I was like, why the fuck would you do that to a child? Nothing good comes from Texas.
Excuse you. Watch it.
Damn.
I said that because I know Dark is from there. I said it because I know Dark is from there.
Tired.
So, I mean, the deaths in this movie are just like, I mean, I'll give it to them. They're fucking creative. You know,
it's like Tarantino type killing.
I think my favorite one was when the lady.
But what about the two kids?
The lady was strapped to the bed and fell on her face first on the road.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was great.
Oh yeah, well that was Ranger
So this
Liz.
woman, so this ranger,
Margot
she gets
Martindale,
this.
She's awesome.
She gets these big ass fucking scratch marks on her big ass, and ends up in an ambulance, and they're getting away from the bear, and for some reason the bear can run 300 fucking miles an hour.
They're going like 60 miles an hour, and the bear catches up with them and jumps
Bears
in.
can run like 45 miles per
jumps.
hour.
They can run at least 45.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry, but if
There's
a
no
fucking
way that they were
ambulance is
driving
driving
45
60
miles.
miles an hour, the bear's not doing a 40-foot fucking jump faster than the ambulance is going.
Yeah,
I'm
he was on
sorry.
cocaine.
He's on cocaine.
Sorry, she
That
was
makes
on
total
cocaine.
sense.
Yeah.
He's a superhero.
But those two kids,
are
the two
actually
kids
fucking
when
scary
she
fast for the
finds
size.
it,
Barely made
and
it.
the one kid's trying to act all cool,
Yeah.
and he's like, "Oh, well, that's not what it looks like, when I usually get it."
It's more
And he's
powdery on the
acting
streets.
like- Yeah, it's more
So these
powdery on the
kids,
streets.
skip school. Roku, if you're raising your hand, I'm gonna fucking laugh at you. I promise you.
Yeah, I say he barely made it.
He barely made it.
Oh, thank you for giving him
Encourage
that
him.
little encouragement, Emmy. I think he needed it.
I can't
So-
do this anymore.
What Wind was talking about is there's two kids who go looking for these falls because one of the kids wants to paint it, and they find a brick of cocaine. And I guess the boy is
Dee Dee.
kind of into the girl or whatever.
Henry, yes.
Yeah. So she finds it and she goes, and that's, I forgot, sorry, just to preface this, at the beginning of the movie, they have one of those anti-drug campaigns where they're showing actors telling you that you shouldn't use drugs, but every single one of the actors who was there used drugs.
I love that part. That was actually the best
Yeah.
part.
Like it was that fucking this is your brain on drugs, and it was the egg in the frying pan, and I was like, oh man.
Which was very big during the time period when the movie was supposed to take place.
Yeah, so the like mid 80s.
Yeah.
So the girl's like, oh, remember when that guy came to the school? He told us what it looks like, and then the guy Henry is like, oh well, that's it. It looks more powdery on the streets. Like, yeah, you fucking idiot. It's wrapped up in a brick. Like, what the fuck do you expect? And then these two fucking moron kids cut it open and
I wonder what it smells
stick
like.
the knife in and eat it. And I'm like, what
She's
the
like,
fuck are you
she's
doing?
like,
And then-
will you
and this
try
bear-
it? And she's like, well, how am I supposed to do it? He's like,
He's like, you
eat it. How much? Oh,
About
about,
a
a
tablespoon.
Now, it seems like I guess the bear's modus operandi throughout the whole show is to find more cocaine, right?
Yeah,
it's
it's
constantly
searching
looking
it out.
for more.
Yeah.
It got high the first time, and it's constantly looking for more cocaine.
Yeah,
Because
exactly.
they had that one
Yeah.
guy, he had the cocaine all over him, and he ran up the tree and
Yeah.
bit his fucking leg off, and
Yeah.
fell down and broke his neck.
That was gruesome.
But yeah, so the death that they were talking about in the ambulance. So this ranger is strapped to a bed in the ambulance, and the bear jumps like fucking Superman and lands perfectly in the ambulance. And then you see this fucking gurney get thrown out. She lands on her face, and she drags about 50 feet on her face. And I was like, okay, that's cool. That's pretty interesting. And then the driver of the ambulance ends up slamming into a tree, and she goes through because she
That
wasn't
plastic
wearing her
window.
seatbelt.
Yep.
Fucking dumbass. But
what about before that
Time
when
period.
she's in the door? She's like the guy's in the doorway and the bear's coming, and
Yeah,
he's like, "Are
instead
you
of-
gonna shoot it?" And she's like, "Of course I'm gonna fucking shoot it. He took a chunk out of my ass." And then she blows the guy's fucking head off, the side of his head off.
Oh my god.
And that was after she blew the other fucking idiot's head off after he opened
well,
the door.
that's what she's talking about. That's the part she's
Oh
talking
my
about.
god! Yeah. He
Yeah.
opened the door like bam.
Yeah. And then
It was an accident.
so the ambulance tech is in the back of the ambulance. Like, what are you pointing the gun at me for? And she's like, get the fuck out of the way. So she's trying to shoot the bear. He's like, not the fucking tree, the big ass fucking bear. And you're just like, what the who the fuck thinks of this shit? But
End of the movie.
Yeah.
At the end of the movie, the
And-
two dudes, when like one of them's laying there and he's looking up at the other one, all I could think of was Forrest and Bubba. When he's like, "You're my best friend," all I could think of was that was Bubba. He was my best good friend.
No, but I mean, O'Shea Jackson, what is his name? O'Shea Jackson.
O'Shea Jackson. Yep.
Yeah, he was
Yes.
in the movie, and
I see.
somehow he gets his middle finger and middle finger and pinky finger shot off in one shot. And this one guy's like, "How'd he lose them two fingers? And they ain't right next to each other." And I'm just like, what the fuck? I'm laughing just because I can't believe this was a fucking movie. Like, I know I'm making it sound like I enjoyed it, but the whole time I'm like, oh,
Don't get it.
what?
It was
How?
terrible. It was the best terrible movie ever. It
But
was like
the scene
was
right
just
after the two kids
bad.
eat the cocaine though, and the bear is there and it sneezes the cocaine all over them. That made me laugh. I will admit that made me really laugh.
Yay!
Hey, this isn't Stopestone. We don't run off of canned laughter, Emmy. Oh shit! Sorry, I shouldn't have said that. I shouldn't have said that. One part that did make me fucking laugh though, and probably harder than it should have, is at near the end of the movie they end up in the bear's cave, and her 2 little baby cubs are covered in cocaine, and one of the kids are like, "They look like polar bears." I don't. Maybe it was in my delirium or my exhaustion. I had to pause it. I was laughing my ass off, and I don't know why.
I like it when she after the guy up the tree, and Henry has to run up the tree, and the bear chases the other guy because he smells the coke that's all over his shirt. So the bear whips down one tree, goes up the other one, shreds this guy, and afterwards Henry's there with his mother, and he's like, "This is something I'd like to forget, but there's some things that stick with a man."
Yeah.
I'm just like, no.
So, King, sorry, I've been talking this whole time, and I sincerely apologize. What did you think of it?
Anyways,
So it's Cocaine Bear.
No, it was bad.
I was in venues. It took me a minute to remember what the fucking movie was. I can't remember. And the guy recognized me from big screen, and I was like, just drawing a blank. I couldn't even think what the movie was, what it was called, nothing.
All right.
What the fuck?
So that sounded
the whole
too
time
real.
I was watching the movie, I felt like the actor that they had playing was a substitute for an actor that they wanted to have. Like they couldn't get Ice Cube, so they got his kid. They couldn't get the black dude from The Daily Show, so they had somebody that was kind of like him. Even the blonde
O'Shea
kid.
Jackson's a good actor. I like him as an actor.
No, he's a
Is it that
fantastic
Keith kid?
actor. I loved him, but it kept adding on that I felt like it's like we got Ray Liotta, we got the one actor we needed, and then everybody else was substitute for actors that they wanted to have.
And he was kind of shit in it too.
Yeah, I didn't recognize him at first.
I mean,
like,
I didn't see
either.
any stellar
It
acting.
looks
I'm
like
sorry.
Ray Liotta. They didn't get him.
It's like you went to the flea market and bought the bootleg version of Cocaine Bear. And it was like all B actors.
So this was a family
Yeah.
movie, right? Completely family.
Well, I watched it
Oh,
with my
yeah.
kids, but my kids don't give a fuck. So
Like other family movies, you know, like Silence of the Lambs and
Children of the Corn.
Children of Silent Hill.
I've actually
Hellraiser.
only seen one of those 3 movies.
Which one?
So how many
Troy Crow's
people
never
have
seen
seen
any.
Silence of the
Cocaine
Lambs.
Bear?
Yeah. So who saw it?
Who saw it? How many people saw it?
I've done it before.
Full. I saw
Well,
part of it.
yeah. I mean,
Okay, I heard-
like it
okay.
'cause-
X's. What did you think? We're gonna hear
Oh,
from
Lord
X's right now.
Jesus. I struggled through it. I don't know. That's what I think.
You
wasn't a
watched
love
it at work
story.
and paid attention to about a quarter of it, didn't you?
Maybe 3/4. It really started
Really?
losing
You
me
could've-
towards the end.
It started to wear off.
Yeah, exactly. My whole thing is a kid takes a tablespoon of cocaine and they're like still a normal human being and don't overdose or anything. Like that was pretty impressive.
Well, they didn't
I think
snort
he
it, right?
Spit it. He
Yeah,
spit
that's
most
true.
of
Yeah,
it
they didn't
out.
snort it and they spit it out.
Yeah. And plus, I don't know. I don't really think that was cocaine from Colombia because it was bright white and very powdery. Like you
Well,
saw no
he did
chunks
say the
in it,
Colombians
nothing.
were after it.
Well, yeah, but it wasn't from Colombia. If it was that bright white, it wouldn't have already been cut that many times.
Trust the dope head over here.
Trust me,
Yeah.
it wouldn't. Trust the woman. Trust the woman who was married
had it
to
all
a
from
Peruvian.
That's called ketamine.
Shit that
She
looks
tried
like drywall,
every
then
kind so
probably
far.
smelling drywall.
Yeah, that's
I
heroin. Sorry to let you
Try-
down.
You really could have
Trust-
condensed the
Restraint.
entire movie into like 15 minutes of all the funny parts. And
No
all
wonder I
Yeah.
felt so good.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
they added all kinds of story, like that stupid fucking dog. Who cares about the dog? I was hoping it was gonna get fucking eaten by the end of it. I was so tired of hearing about that fucking
Fuck
dog.
that dog.
Hope the fucking dog dies.
I wanted like a lab, you know, like a man's best friend. This one's fancy.
They tried to throw that
What the
twist
fuck?
ending by having the deputy or whatever the fuck she
Yeah.
was as like the leader, and I'm like, what?
Yeah.
So female
Give me a sec.
leader is
Whoa.
that's Loop. that what you're saying?
So, anyways, how's it going?
Oh, great. How are you doing?
What other animals would you like to see on screen taking
Doing cocaine?
How about cocaine rabbit?
Porcupine.
Cocaine rabbit, maybe?
Well,
Yeah.
Well,
probably just fuck a whole bunch of other rabbits and.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How about cocaine
I
chimpanzee?
just kind of
Bestiality.
I was thinking like a
Go and rip
monkey.
somebody's fucking face off and snort cocaine.
Cocaine monkey too.
And start ripping
so
people's fucking faces off
I
and shit, and
actually
their balls.
when I was looking at
each other's dicks.
Yeah.
when I was looking up Cocaine Bear on IMDb, I saw in 2023 there were 3 cocaine animal movies released. There was Cocaine Shark, which I don't know how the fuck that works. Cocaine Bear and some other fucking animal. And I also saw that either next year or the year after they're going to be releasing Crackoon.
Oh, okay. I'm with that one.
And I was just like, what
watch
the fuck?
What is this, the new
I think
Sharknado?
cocaine sloth would be kind of cool.
That I would watch.
Because
I would
that
absolutely
just-
fucking watch it.
Normally?
Uh,
It just moves normal speed. That's what I was
I would think
thinking.
meth would be
Like-
a better drug for sloth. Watch
Yeah,
him go
yeah.
super speed.
We should just
Yeah, so
start
like
go
this.
injecting animals with drugs.
Okay, so in
See which ones react the
2023,
best.
it was
Sure it's been
Cocaine
done.
Bear, Cocaine Shark, and Cocaine Cougar.
Nice.
Cocaine cougar. That's me.
I dated one of
I
those.
was just going to say that.
It's just some hot old lady with a drug
Cocaine NATO.
Yeah.
Like
Cocaine
a tornado made out of cocaine.
Oh, my I just
Okay, for
cocaine
real, I
NATO.
don't do cocaine anymore. I just smoke a lot
Anymore.
of weed.
Anymore.
I-
She
You don't
do
have to
it
lie to
last
us. This is
I
a safe
grew up
place.
I grew up in the 80s.
She was a little girl in that movie. Was she in the movie? Got hooked.
I was that little girl.
She was the fictional girl that was in the movie.
Yeah.
So,
So
I mean,
anyway.
unless anybody from the crowd has anything else to add for Cocaine Bear, I mean, I think we talked about the funny parts.
Roku's raising his hand.
Yeah.
Crow
raised my
has-
hand
yes.
sometimes. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Cocaine Bear was
Oh, God,
Cocaine
it's
Bear
bad.
was a prequel to Fuzzy Bear. It's like that's it's like that the pre-story of Fuzzy Bear. That's how it was.
Fuzzy bear or Fozzie bear?
Fuzzy Bear.
Fuzzy Bear from the Muppets.
Fozzie bear. Okay.
Yeah.
From the Muppets.
Gotcha.
Is that some weird
He did so much
porno?
cocaine, he started talking.
Is that some weird porno?
Yes, probably.
I
just
will
think it's a
say though,
waste
right near the end, when the bear had been shot and fell and it was lying on its back, and Ray Liotta was hanging by the bag. As soon as the brick fell out, I said to my daughter, I said, "It's gonna fall. It's gonna break on the cocaine on the bear's nose. It's gonna wake up and it's gonna kill him." It didn't quite do that. I was off just by a little bit. It fucking exploded before it got to the bear, and then the bear inhaled it and woke it up.
Yes.
But I was like, okay, whatever.
It snowed down.
Well, one thing I thought was kind of a waste. Now that you look back at it, they had the CGI Ray Liotta getting slaughtered by these bears. I mean, they might have just did it in real life, and then
He
just had
would have gone
really
out
nice
cooler.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, he could
Christ
have been up there
compels you.
with
Christ compels you. Christ compels. Sorry.
fine.
So, do we get to hear about Comic-Con now?
This is your fault.
Yes.
Well, I mean,
I have been waiting for
you're
this.
muted.
I've been waiting
well,
for
hold on.
this.
Before we move on to Comic-Con, which was fucking cool. Does anybody else have anything to add for Cocaine Bear?
Boofing is the best. Boofing is the best solution for intaking it.
Boofing. Can you explain
Boofing.
a little bit about boofing?
Boofing,
Boof, brother.
Boofing.
How do you
Where
boof?
Get a straw.
How do you boof it?
Through the rear
No,
end.
just-
You fill the
Rear end of
straw
what?
and you
You
blow.
put the straw in your rear end.
Put it in
you
your
blow
rear
it
end.
in.
Oh, like a silly straw.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Exactly. Just a
I
little
mean,
educational piece.
I
Is
mean,
that the best way?
If you like blowing cocaine up your asshole, I mean, that's your thing. I'm not here to judge.
Thank you. Thank you.
Do you get a friend to do that to boof you?
Yeah, it's a partner
Preferably, you don't want an
Yeah.
enemy.
I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not that
Yeah.
flexible.
Yeah, you don't want someone that you don't like doing it.
Definitely.
What's King
Okay.
doing? He keeps leaving and coming back.
It's really like a trust exercise if you think about it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Nice.
I guess it would suck if they go to all the trouble to load the straw, put it in the asshole, and then the guy farts right as the guy's about to blow into
That
it.
would definitely be a problem.
Ooh.
That's where the trust comes in.
That's why they call it boofing. Boo.
Actually, that would blow. It's like
Yeah, true.
King,
All
what's
right,
your
Comic-Con.
input on that.
Comic-Con.
Comic-Con.
Yay.
So I went to Comic-Con for the first time ever this year in Montreal, and I had VIP passes, which was really fucking cool because I got to get there an hour before everybody, and I did that dickhead thing where I went to everybody standing out line and I showed them my VIP passes. I walked into the building. I will admit I did that. But so I went with the expectation of only meeting Michael Biehn and Lance Henriksen because that was going to be a birthday gift from my friends. They were paying for a photo op for them. So I didn't expect to meet any other celebrities at all. For those who don't know, Michael Biehn and Lance Henriksen starred together in Aliens. They were Lance Corporal Hicks and Bishop, and Michael Biehn was also in Tombstone. He was in Terminator. He played Kyle Reese in the original Terminator movie. He was in The Rock. I just lost my phone.
Lance Henriksen. There you go. All his notes.
Yeah.
Who
and
was he in
then-
Tombstone?
Sorry, what was that, Emerald?
Who was he in Tombstone?
He was Johnny Ringo.
Why, Johnny Ringo.
Yeah.
The deadliest pestilence
He's- yeah.
since Wild Oats.
He's the
they
guy
say.
that Val Kilmer kills at the end of the movie.
Right, the Hispanic dude, or whatever he is.
You're in the chair.
No, it was he wasn't Hispanic. That was
Well, he was the guy next to the Hispanic guy. Like the. Never
like
mind. I know who
he
you're
was
talking
his
about.
number 2.
Yeah, I know who you're talking
Yeah.
about. Yeah.
Yeah, and then Lance Henriksen was in Powder, which was one of my
God,
favorite
that's no
movies
good.
when I was a kid. He was Bishop in Aliens. He was then again he was in Alien 3, and he was also in Aliens vs Predator. I think he was in a Terminator movie. He got shot by the Terminator, if I'm not mistaken, but I don't know
I used
which
to-
one.
Kyle Reese.
Yeah, he was.
said
He
he was
was.
Kyle Reese.
He was in the first. He was in the first Terminator movie. He was originally set to be. I know a lot of people contradict this, but he was the one who was originally set to be the Terminator. They have concept art and everything.
No,
drawn
but I'm
with
talking
him as
about
the
Lance
Terminator.
Henriksen. I'm not talking
Yeah,
about
Lance
Michael Biehn
Henderson.
right now. Oh, okay.
Lance Henderson. Yeah, Lance Henderson was originally set to be the Terminator.
Okay.
But he was in Terminator 1 as one of the cops.
Okay. Yeah.
I
And
used
he
to
was
watch a TV
also-
show with
yeah.
him called Millennium back on.
Okay,
around
I
99?
remember hearing about the show, but I
Yeah.
never saw it.
It was really good.
But he was also Lance Henriksen was also in The Quick and the Dead, so he also had a western.
a
That
good
one
show,
was
too.
with Sharon Stone, Leonardo DiCaprio, Russell Crowe, Gene Hackman was also in that.
Gene Hackman. Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. So I went
That's
with
a really good
the
movie.
I went with the expectation of only meeting them. So when we got there, they had this big, massive exhibition floor, and there was just all kinds of shit that I couldn't afford because I've been out of work for so fucking long. But at one point, my son and I, we went up to the floor where all the celebrities were, and it was the first time up there. So we were just looking around to see who was where and how it all worked and everything. And so on that very first day, I saw Billy Boyd was at a booth. And for those who don't know who Billy Boyd is, he was. Are you doing the backstroke? What the fuck? Are you
He's
doing?
been freaking out for the last 10 minutes.
Oh, has he?
No, yeah.
So Billy Boyd was
Lord of the Rings, right?
Yeah, he played Pippin in Lord of the Rings. He
Yeah.
was in Master and Commander. He was the baby in The Seed of Chucky. And yeah, so I went up to the people working there, and I was like, "Listen, I can't afford the autograph. I can't afford the selfie, but is it okay if I just say hi to him?" And they're like, "Yeah, like the line's pretty much died down. It should be okay." So I went up to him and I was like, "Hey, listen, I apologize. I wasn't prepared for any of this. I can't afford any of that stuff. I just wanted to, take a minute and say hi and let you know I'm a fan." And he took
bet he
like a
was
good
rock
5 or
hard.
10 minutes
Oh my
just to
God.
talk with me.
So
And he's like, "Oh, don't worry about that. I'm happy to meet a fan." And
Was he bricked?
was he what?
Oh, the guy up there, you mean?
Rock hard.
What?
No, bricked like drugs. Oh my god. Never mind.
Like emotional.
I mean, as emotional as a Scottish guy.
Hayden, just shut the fuck up.
But yeah, he took like 5 or 10 minutes just to sit and chat with me, and I thought that was pretty cool. And so when we went back the next day, I saw that he was going to be at his booth again shortly after we got there. So I ponied up the money, and I was like, okay, we're going to pay for, like, I'll pay for the selfies. And so I went back up to him. I was like, listen, I don't know if you remember me from yesterday. He goes, oh, no, absolutely, I do. And I remember your son. And we talked for a little bit more. And then this fucking guy took 45 selfies with us. I actually had to go back and count them. He took 45 selfies. There was me, my son, my daughter, and my son's friend. So he took a whole bunch of selfies with all of us together. And then he goes, should we do the individual ones now? And I'm like, what, you mean like just one-on-one? He goes, yeah. And I was like, fuck, go for it.
Nice.
And then
got to be one of the nicest guys out there.
Yeah, no, he was really, really, really cool. And then my friend who we also went with wanted to meet Kurt Angle, because there were 3 wrestlers there. There was Trish Stratus, there was Kurt Angle, and there was Rhino. So we went and we saw Kurt Angle. What a nice, soft-spoken, just genuine human being. Like he like had this big smile for everybody that he met, and it didn't seem forced. It didn't seem rehearsed. It was like he was genuinely happy to meet everybody. And I brought up what I thought about him in a movie called The Warrior. So for those who haven't seen The Warrior, it's an MMA movie with Joel Edgerton, Tom Hardy, and Nick Nolte, where they're brothers who join the same MMA tournament. And when I was watching it the first time, there's this Russian fighter named Kobo. And you see this motherfucker, and he's just so intense, and he has no lines in the movie whatsoever. And I only realized it after watching it the first time that it was Kurt Angle who played Kobo. So I said to him, I said, listen, I said, I'm a fan, a wrestling fan and everything, but all that aside, you know, I've got to tell you, I said, your role as Kobo, I said, the fact that you were able to convey such intensity and such fear, and you never said a word. And he's like, oh, I was so pissed they didn't let me talk. And I was like, no, the fact that you did that was mind-blowing. I said, I think had you had any lines, it might have lessened the intensity of the character, you know. And he was really grateful to hear that. And then my friend was telling him about how she was one of it, like a big fan of his, and we had gone to go see an episode of SmackDown when they came to Montreal. And he goes, oh, you were cheering for me while everyone else booed. And when he said that, I was like, oh, I'm sorry. Like, I just felt so bad. And then so he and Trish Stratus had this big ass line. Rhino had nobody there. And I just felt so bad because I mean, I at the time that I was watching wrestling, Rhino was there, but I never really saw him. And then
original.
Yeah, I always thought he was a dick. I hated him in ECW. Actually,
yeah?
Kurt Angle
that's right.
was
He's
almost
the
gonna
wrestling
be
fan.
He was almost going to be in the ECW, and he's a Pittsburgh guy, and Shane Douglas is from the Pittsburgh area, and they knew each other from way back. So Shane Douglas, after he had won that gold medal, tried to get him in the ECW. Oh yeah, it's just like the wrestling you do, only it's all scripted and all that. So Kurt Angle goes to one of the episodes. It was taped and everything, and he watches Raven crucify Sandman, and I guess he just looked at Paul, whatever his name was,
Paul Heyman.
Like, if you put me on, Paul Heyman, if you put me on this show, I'm suing. It was like he wouldn't even sign an NDA. He hated it. But then he signed with the WWF.
Okay. Well, yeah, no, like I said, just a really awesome guy. Like, and it's funny, because you don't know how much like they are their care, like how much how much in real life they are like their characters. And I remember when I was watching him in wrestling, they made him a heel and everything like that. So I wasn't sure if he was going to be like that pompous, like I won a gold medal, I'm important and everything. But no, just kind and like I said, soft spoken, and I thought it was really, really cool. You good?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, we're good.
We're touching each other.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Stop
why they're
interrupting
giggling. Okay,
us.
that's why they're giggling.
We're just really enjoying your show. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So, a little while after that, I was walking along that little hall, and I saw Lance Henriksen there, and he had nobody at his booth. So I'm like, oh fuck, I'm gonna go say hi to Lance Henriksen. Fuck this, I'm gonna take a second to go meet him. So, I go up to him. I was like, hey Lance, listen, I have a photo op with you in a couple hours with Michael. I saw that there was nobody here. I just wanted to take a minute to say hi and introduce myself. And he's like, oh, thank you so much. And he put his hand out and he shook my hand. And it's funny your reaction to Powder, because I chose to talk to him about Powder because I figured everybody would have spent the whole weekend talking about aliens and all that other stuff. So I said to him, like, listen, Powder was one of my favorite movies growing up as a kid. And I said, one of the, like, I don't know how many of you have seen Powder or even know what it is I'm talking about. Crow, your hand is up, and I can't tell if it's on purpose or not.
No, I wouldn't do that.
But
Powder was a really good movie.
yeah. So yeah. So for those who don't know what Powder is, it's a boy is born during a massive lightning storm after his mother got struck by lightning, and so when he's born, I guess Simon's seen it.
Kind of looks like him.
Yeah,
albino,
Simon's seen it. Yeah, he kind of looks like Simon's butt. So he's born. He's completely white. He's an albino. He's got no hair on his body whatsoever, and he has. Simon's really fucking excited. Holy shit. That must be fucking nausea-inducing in YouTube. But he has like special telekinetic powers. He's able to. He's an empath also. So by touching somebody, he's able to feel their feelings and read their thoughts and everything. And so in the movie, Lance Henriksen plays a sheriff, and his wife is in some type of coma. I don't think they ever really explain what it is that she has. But there's a scene where Lance Henriksen brings him to his house, and his wife talks to him through Powder, and she's basically telling him to let her go and everything like that. And it was it's the scene I think of anytime I think of the movie. So the fact that I brought it up, like, you could see in his eyes, he was like, wow, that goes way back. And he was talking to me about a movie he was just filming in Australia, and how he had bought, in, like, for himself and his wife in real life, they bought Claddagh rings and stuff like that, and he was allowed to use them in the movie that he filmed. And I was like, you know what, fuck this, I got to get his autograph. I'm going to get his picture, but I got to get his autograph. So I picked the picture from Aliens where he's got his hand over Bill Paxton's and he's holding the knife when he did the knife game in Aliens. And so I bring that to Lance, and then hilarity ensued. So Lance Henriksen now is 83 years old. He's this tiny little guy, white hair, like just covered in wrinkles and everything like that. And so he's like, oh, I remember this scene. He goes, I did this for real, eh? And I was like, yeah, I remember reading about that at some point. He goes, you know why I did it? He was being a wise guy. So I was like, okay. And he says, so I go up to Jim and I say, hey, Jim, Bill's being a wise guy today. So Jim's like, well, why not do the knife trick? So I looked at him, he goes, I'm a fucking do it. And I was like, what the fuck is happening right now? So he goes, I put my fucking hand on his and I started going nuts, and he was scared like a little bitch. And in my head, I'm like, I'm so happy right now. This is happening. He's like, this little man is swearing at me, and it's awesome. And I was just so happy, and I was like, my friends are never gonna believe me. So as soon as I got the autograph signed and everything like that, I sprinted to my friends. Fuck running. I sprinted and I showed them the picture. I was like, Lance Henriksen signed this and he swore at me and Bill Paxton's a bitch. And I was like, they're like, what the fuck is going on? So I'm still amazed that happened. So about 2 hours later, we go down for the photo op, and I was like, "Oh, please say something else while we're down here. Please say something else." But the photo op was more of like a rushed thing. It wasn't the like intimate thing that they were doing upstairs with the selfies and stuff. It's like, so you go in and it's like a professional photographer is taking the pictures. So I have a really fucking nice picture of the four of us that were there and Lance Henriksen and Michael Biehn, and I thought that was really cool. And I got to say, Michael Biehn being in his 60s looks fucking amazing. Like, I was surprised. Like, when you look at him and Lance Henriksen next to each other, yeah, there's a 20-year gap, but holy fuck, does he look good. And I'm comfortable enough in my sexuality, I can fucking say he looked good.
Yeah, I was listening to him on the show with Michael Rosenbaum. He has like a podcast.
Okay,
with Michael Rosenbaum, and
Michael Rosenbaum was there as well.
And Michael Biehn said he had a stroke a while back. And,
had he really?
He's almost completely recovered now. But yeah, he had a stroke.
Several
years
would have
ago.
Never realized.
Yeah, but yeah, he's doing really good now.
Yeah, but most of the cast from.
You're echoing.
Oh, I think we're getting an echo from you.
I'm sorry.
Is that where it's... Oh, no, it's all good.
You should be ashamed.
Oh, not to wait.
So yeah, most of the cast of Smallville was there, but I never saw an episode of Smallville. So
It's actually a pretty good show.
Yeah, it was a good show.
People have been trying to get me to watch it,
Smallville.
but yeah, Michael Rosenbaum was there, John Glover was there. That story's coming up, don't worry. And then the guy who played Superman, what was his name? Tom Welling.
Tom Welling.
Tom Welling.
Is he that big of a dude too?
Yeah,
Like,
he's a
TV
big fucker.
always
He's
makes
a
him
big
look
fucker. No, he's a big fucker. Yeah, he got a massive cheer when he came through the little booth thing to do the autographs and everything.
I wouldn't have been able to speak. You would have actually seen me, like, just.
You would have heard the whistle at that time.
I wouldn't have been able
That kind of whistle, yeah.
Well, what happened on the third day? I think you would have actually shat yourself.
Oh no.
So, so the selfies with Billy Boyd, meeting Kurt Angle, meeting Lance Henriksen, the photo op, that was all day 2. Go home day 2, dead, sleeping, didn't set an alarm for day 3. I was like, fuck it, we'll go when we wake up. I'm dead. So we show up day 3, meet up with my friends again, and they had gone to some Celtic panel. And then, somebody else that we also met. Are there any D&D fans in here? Anybody who played D&D when they were younger?
And younger.
Yeah.
You watch the movie?
So, do you know who Ed Greenwood is?
No.
So Ed Greenwood wrote one of the most popular ever D&D campaigns.
Oh wow,
nice!
And it's his campaign that the Chris Pine Dungeons and Dragons movie was actually based off of.
Right.
He
That
was
actually
there.
a good movie.
He was there, and we spoke to him on Friday, not knowing who the hell he was. Because my daughter went with my friends to a Vikings in the media panel, and they were showing how Vikings are depicted, like in Marvel movies and in TV and stuff like that. And they were showing, what they got right, what they got wrong. And after the panel, my daughter had a question that she wasn't able to ask during the panel in terms of the Viking horns, like why, like on the helmets, like why are Vikings always depicted with horns on their helmets when they didn't really have horns on their helmets? So our friends referred us to this guy's booth, not telling us who the fuck he was. So she goes up to him and she asked him, and he took so much time. And again, another soft spoken, like picture a really old dude with like really long white hair, a really long white beard, and fucking suspenders. Like that's yeah. So that's who this guy was, and he took the time to really go through everything. He says, well, the horns on the Viking helmets comes from the old black and white silent movies.
Yeah, an opera.
And the reason why they did that was because the directors were looking for a way to differentiate the bad guys from the good guys. Exactly. So because the Vikings were the bad guys and doing the raiding and the pillaging and stuff like that, they gave them the horns because that's how the devil was always symbolized, was having horns.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Okay.
So when we were there on the second day, they showed us a picture with this guy, and they're like, "Yeah, that's Ed Greenbaum, and he wrote this." And I was like, "We fucking talked to him yesterday. We had no idea." So my daughter wanted a picture with him. So when we went back on the Sunday, I was like, "Mr. Greenbaum, I don't know if you remember us. We were here on Friday." He goes, "Absolutely, I remember you guys." And I said, well, listen, in my complete and utter ignorance, we had no idea whose presence we were in, and I am shameful, and I apologize to you, sir. And I would like to congratulate you on your success. And my daughter was wondering if she might be able to take a picture with you. And he does this thing where he kneels, like he leans over a little bit, and he took her hand and brought it to her forehead, and he's like, "Of course, my dear." And she's never had anything like that happen to her before, so she's looking at me like, "Aww. What the fuck is going on? Do we need Chris Hansen? Like, what the fuck?" So we got pictures with him and everything. And the last thing that we were waiting for on Sunday was there was a 50-piece orchestra set who was there, and they were doing a Legend of Zelda concert for the end of the day. So playing music from all the eras of the Legend of Zelda.
That would have been something.
So it was about 3:00. We were having lunch, and when we got done lunch, my kids wanted to go off and do their own thing. So I said to my friends, I was like, "You guys want to go up to the celebrity area and see if there's people who don't have anybody there, and see if we can say hi?" And they're like, "Yeah, sure, that's a great idea." Are you ready? Win? Are you ready?
I am.
Okay. So when you first get up there, there's a hall where they had Jonathan Frakes and John Delancey and Michael Biehn, Emily Swallow, Lance Henriksen. And then when you turn the corner, you're in this big, massive room where they had all the other celebrities. So I start walking, and all of a sudden I hear, "Hey, hey, ho, hey, hey." And I'm like, what the fuck? So I look over, and it's John Glover, the guy who played Lionel Luthor in Smallville, for whoever saw Smallville. He was also in Gremlins 2. He was in Scrooge. He's been in all kinds of stuff.
A lot of stuff.
So I look at him, and he's waving his arms like this to get my attention. So I'm like, okay. So I look at, like, I show him that I'm looking at him, and he starts stroking a would-be beard because he doesn't have a beard right now. So he starts stroking a would-be beard. So I'm like, I'm looking back at my friends, and I was like, what does he want? So I grab my beard, and I look at him, I'm like, you want to touch it? Like, I don't understand. So he puts his finger up like this. He turns around, he grabs his phone off of his table and leaves his booth with people there waiting to see him.
What the hell?
So because he's bringing his phone over and I'm just a complete fucking moron, I'm like, does he want my picture? Like, what the fuck is going on right now? Because I'm that naive. I'm like, he wants my, like, John Glover wants my fucking picture. Yes.
He's seen Unknown Theater.
It's that dude from on Binge Nation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he gets over to me with his phone, and he's like, I have to show you something. So I'm like, okay, he's showing me his phone now. What the fuck? So he opens his phone and he's scrolling through pictures, and then he shows me a picture with him with longer hair and a big bushy beard. And I'm like, oh, he wants to show me that he used to look like me. He doesn't want my picture. But right away, I'm like, oh, I've got you beat. So for those of you who are on our Discord, a little while ago, I posted a before and after picture because my beard had gotten really long. But because I was out of work, I had to look interview ready. So I had about 3 or 4 inches of my beard trimmed off. So I was like, I've got you beat. So I pulled out my before picture and he's like, holy shit. And I'm like, this is happening. So he gets all like, he looks all disappointed. He goes, oh, you beat me. And I was like, well, I said, let's look at it this way. I said, in the picture, your hair's longer than mine. So let's call it a tie. So he goes, okay, I can live with that. And I'm looking at my friends and their fucking mouths are just on the floor. And they're not even blinking. And I'm like, oh, by the way, this is my friends, Angie and Neil. And they're like, hello, Mr. Glover. How are you today? Like, they couldn't believe what the fuck was happening.
What about
so he's like,
still
here
in line waiting.
Yeah, and there's people in line, and they're like, what the fuck is going on? So he's like, oh, give me 1 second, I'll be right back. So he goes back, and I look at my friends. I'm like, you're seeing this, right? Like, this is happening. I'm not imagining this shit. Like, you didn't slip me something at lunch. Like, this is actually happening, and they're still just looking like, yeah, that happened. So he's like, hey, do you guys want pictures? I was like, no. Like, fuck yeah, we'll do pictures. So we let the people who were in line go because I was like, listen, this isn't fair. They've been waiting in line and everything like that.
I was wondering about those people. I'm like, fucking guy, what the hell?
Oh yeah, fuck. I would have been pissed. I would have been like, motherfucker, I don't want your fucking picture anymore. Eat shit. So when we go to take the pictures, so I was on his right, my friend Angie was in the middle, and then her husband Neil was on his left. So as they're about to take the pictures, he leans in, he goes, hey, are you smiling? And I said, yes, Mr. Glover, I'm smiling. I promise you. And I had this big shit-eating grin on my face. But then he goes to my friend in front of him. He goes, are you smiling, miss? And she goes, yes, I'm smiling. And then he's like, are you ticklish? And he takes his fingers and jabs them into her sides.
Oh my God.
And she starts she makes this noise and she starts laughing. And then out of his mouth comes, oh, I like how you squeal. And he fucking did it again.
Oh my.
I'm like, what the fuck is going on right now? I couldn't believe it. You could have asked me to give you a million different outcomes from this weekend. I like how you squeal would never have been something I would think anybody would have said to my friend.
That's creepy.
No, but if so, how you see John Glover on screen, that's how he is in real life.
Yeah,
he's just this fucking crazy eccentric whackball who honestly I would not want to have any other way. Like that was, and so like we take the pictures and I go to shake his hand. I was like, oh, thank you very much for your time. He was like, well, oh, I would have thought you would have wanted a hug. I was like, I'll take a hug. I'll hug you. And then my friends hugged him as well. And we walk away like, and they're just both looking at me like, I'm so glad you suggested coming up here because we were just going to stay downstairs till the concert. And it was just one of those surreal moments where we're like, how in the fuck did that happen? And so it was like, oh man, it was, like I said, I could have never imagined that the weekend would have gone how it went. And I was so grateful for having the tickets. I was grateful for being there with the friends that I was with the kids when I didn't want to murder them. And then just for the icing on the cake, because I had to piss off Dark and King, when we walked away from John Glover, Jonathan Frakes, Commander Riker, had nobody in front of him.
Ooh, you actually talked.
So we went up to them again, like, listen, we don't have any money for anything. Is it okay if we go up and say hi? And they're like, yeah, sure, go ahead. So I went up to him and I said, hi, Mr. Frakes. How are you? My name is Colin. And I had to come and talk to you because I host an online virtual reality talk show where we talk about movies and TV shows. And we did an episode on Picard where my buddy King was jerking off in the booth while we were talking about your scenes.
Good job you don't know my real name.
I didn't really say that, but I got up to we did an episode on the show Picard. But I did say that, when we were doing that episode, we spent quite a bit of time on his episode and how well he was, like how good he was in that episode and everything. And my friends Angie and Neil, who have seen seasons 2 and season 3, were talking about the episodes that he directed and what they thought about that. And he was like, "Listen, it's the writing. Like, it was all there. It was just like I just had to, put that on camera." And they were talking about some woman who was in the show, and the guy who played Worf was always hitting on her.
Oh, probably the girl, Rafiki. What was her name?
Ralphie.
Ralphie. Was that?
I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. But they brought it up, and he's like, "Oh, he was after her bad." It's just like,
nice.
Yeah, but so I mean, we walked away from that again, just eyes wide, mouth agape, like, how in the fuck did we work that one out? Like, that was just unreal. And then we watched the concert. The concert was absolutely amazing. And what this guy did is the conductor of the orchestra, the day before, we saw him do a Star Wars concert as well. And it was so funny because he didn't really do any of the main songs from Star Wars. And all I was thinking was, at least it's not Star Trek. But at all of his concerts, when he's doing the arrangements and everything, he was explaining to us, he tries to find songs to pit against each other. And so he did Duel of the Fates from episode 1, and he mashed it with the Imperial March, which worked surprisingly well. And then for the Zelda concert, he took one of the songs, I think it was the Song of Storms, and he mashed it with the theme song for Game of Thrones.
Nice.
Which worked so well.
Huh.
And I was just sitting there like just a fucking idiot, like after the day I had, after the 3 days I had, I was like, dude, fucking nothing can piss me off. I'm just happy. And I was just fucking sitting there rocking in my seat. And then we left Comic-Con, and then I came here for the voice thing. So I mean, my weekend was perfect.
Oh, you were hyped up that day.
Was there any moment that you found yourself tempted to go like this and no confetti came out?
No.
Oh.
No.
Okay.
There was the one when he took the picture with Poison Ivy and everything came out.
Oh, I'm sure.
Oh, dude, yeah.
But is that the one?
So what did you do
Kill Bill
afterwards that night?
Poison Ivy is from DC. She's one of the Batman's villains.
Well, no,
know,
she
but who
the same
played it,
actress.
though?
She
Uma
played
Thurman.
Poison
Wasn't it Uma
Ivy
Thurman?
Oh,
Uma
okay.
Thurman
So
played
you're
it,
asking who
Uma
played?
Thurman?
Yeah. So
Yes,
it's the
Uma
same girl
Thurman
from
did.
Kill Bill. Yeah.
Okay.
But
Sorry,
you
I was
didn't meet Uma
misunderstanding what
Thurman.
you
It
were
was
asking.
a cosplayer.
So
I
but
just
that was
forgot
a
her name for a
cosplayer
minute.
you
Yeah.
meant, not Uma Thurman, right?
No. It was a cosplayer. There were all kinds of cosplayers.
Oh, okay.
There was a guy walking around with like a movie accurate Deadpool costume. And my son was dressed as a stormtrooper. And so when we saw Deadpool, he really wanted his picture taken with Deadpool. So for the first pose, my son was pointing his Nerf gun at me, like his stormtrooper Nerf gun at me. And then I noticed Deadpool had his fucking gun up in my son's throat. I was like, okay, that's perfect. So I took the pictures, and I'm like, oh, now I said, do the picture where your gun is up in his throat. But I was like, Devin, put your gun up to his throat. So they did it, but I couldn't really see the gun. But then I realized, without flinching, I don't even know when the fuck he did it, but he had his right hand in my son's throat, and then with his left hand, he took the gun out of the left holster and was pointing it right at my son's balls. But just so nonchalantly, like, I've got him in both places, and I was cracking up so hard I almost couldn't take the picture. And I was just like, what the fuck? And then the next kid that went up, he put his middle finger up for the kid and he jammed it up his nose. And I'm like, you're Deadpool. That had to be Ryan Reynolds under that fucking thing. It had to be. I was like, it was just so perfect. But yeah, there was so many cosplayers. There was one person I had wished I had gotten a picture with. It was a woman walking around dressed as the Eye of Sauron.
Wow.
Nice.
So she was dressed as the tower. So she had like this big, long black dress on and this big fucking headpiece. It didn't do that. But this big headpiece with the eye in between. And I was like, wow, that's really fucking nice.
Huh.
Yeah. But I mean, I'm trying to think of everything else that we did besides that. We met, I can't remember his name right now, but we met the guy who did every single one of the Marvel Zombies comic covers. I don't remember his name, but
Jeff
we had, no,
I don't remember.
no, he's got a Y in his last name. That's all I know.
I can't remember.
But he's also done like Army of Darkness and Friday the 13th and Nightmare on Elm Street. Like massive. He's the king of zombies, apparently. But for the illustrations, not the writing, he does the he does the cover arts.
Yeah, they did a crossover with Army of Darkness and Marvel Zombies, didn't they? Yeah.
No, I think it was Army of Darkness.
It was Ash versus Marvel Zombies.
Was it? Did he do one of
I
those?
read it. Yeah, I read a couple of them.
Because there
I don't
was
know if he
also
did it,
one
but,
where
yeah.
it was Ash versus Jason Voorhees and Freddy Krueger.
Yeah, they were originally going to do a movie with that, but they couldn't work the rights.
Yeah, yeah. But my buddy got a signed picture of Ash with Jason Voorhees and Freddy Krueger. So that was
Author
that was pretty
Sudam. Would be.
I think so. Yes,
Author,
I think.
Yeah, no, I looked it up.
Yeah, I think that's yeah. For those who don't know, I have a guy that I went to elementary school with. He does action figure photography. But he does it like with the lighting and everything like that. And one thing he does when he has the right character is he recreates comic book covers. And I don't know if anybody here knows Greg Capullo, or is it Jeff Capullo? No, it's Greg Capullo. So Greg Capullo was one of the artists for Spawn. And he saw one of my buddy's prints of a Spawn cover that he did, and he asked my buddy for a copy of the print.
Oh wow.
So he went on Saturday to meet Greg Capullo. He brought 2 copies of his print and a copy of the comic. So he gave him the copy, and then Greg Capullo signed his own personal copy and the comic.
Wow, that must have been a trip for him.
Yeah, that was fucking cool. Another thing that really happened that was really cool is, like I said, my son was dressed as a stormtrooper, and at one point we were walking and we saw Darth Vader and a bunch of stormtroopers. So when Vader saw him, he acknowledged him, and then one of the stormtroopers saluted him. But when
Emmy is back.
And while we were waiting in line because they had like the Emperor's throne all set up, and you can take your picture sitting on the Emperor's throne. There was a song playing, so my son in his stormtrooper garb starts dancing, and the guy dressed as Vader notices him. So he fucking walks right up to my son like this, right up to his face. And as he's inhaling, he's like, calm the fuck down, stormtrooper. We don't dance.
We don't dance.
And that was just such a really cool thing for my kid. And there was a Dalek going around. I'm not a big Doctor Who fan at all. I've never really watched it, but I do know that my ex watched it with my daughter. and this fucking Dalek started chasing her around. And so I've got a video of the Dalek chasing her around. And when the Dalek noticed that I had the camera out, it's like, "Are you smiling?" And she's like, "Yes." And then I just hear this, "Cheese." And then it goes
with the "I like the way you squeal."
This was before the thing with John Glover, so I didn't even think about it. And then it goes up to this group of Mandalorians, and it's like, "Have you exterminated anyone today?" I'm just fucking dying laughing. I couldn't believe it. But yeah, it was just, what an amazing weekend. Win. I wish you had known what you were being offered, and you had taken your friend up on your offer. It was such an amazing weekend.
Well, it wasn't VIP, but she had tickets, and if I had known that you were going to be there.
Were they the 3-day passes?
They were. It was for Saturday, I believe.
Okay.
It was just for Saturday.
Yeah, one of my friends came just for the Saturday. Saturday was the biggest day.
Where was this?
In Montreal.
In Montreal.
Oh, okay.
And I only live about 3 hours from Montreal.
Oh, fuck. You should have made that trip.
Yeah.
You could have squealed by Glover.
Maybe Glover would have grabbed your sides, and then you would have just
you
would have crumpled into a
I wouldn't have been able to even speak. Like, I would have just sat there. My mouth would have my jaw would have just been flopping open. I maybe would have been like just these little noises.
Can you imagine John Glover comparing his beard to Wynn's?
Come on, I'm not Italian.
I'm
Here, let me show you this
joking, I'm
picture of my
joking.
beard. I mean, my
That's not a beard.
It's a bat wing.
That's fucking awesome.
I'd be like, "Come here, Johnny. Let me introduce you to my bat cave. We gotta talk."
I just keep picturing his fingers getting stuck in the super glue when you're doing that.
Fuck it. I love you in there. I really do. King has to forever do my intros, but you've got to run all the buttons in the booth from now on. You're hired. But yeah, like I know that the show's running a bit long. I'm just trying to remember if there was any other stories from this weekend that I can tell. Like I think I got all the the big ones out. Like I said, the John Glover trying to get my attention had to have been one of the highlights for sure. I just felt so stupid thinking he wanted my picture.
Well, you're lucky there weren't a line that to take picture with you after that, because they were waiting for him. So he wanted a picture with you.
Well, what's really funny, so I posted, I'm pretty sure I posted the picture somewhere on the Discord. Mm-hmm. Oh, Simon wants my picture. All right, there you go.
There you go.
Are you smiling?
I was like an idiot.
Are you squealing?
I'm squealing. Fuck, what was I about to say? Yes, I get it. Smart ass. So on the first day, I'll say this and then I'll leave it at that. On the first day, there was a guy who came up to me, and he was there cosplaying with somebody else. He wasn't an actor or anything like that. He was there cosplaying, and he comes up to me, goes, "Listen, I apologize for stopping you. I understand you might be on your way to somewhere, but do you watch wrestling at all?" Oh, hey, Lulu. And I was like, well, I mean, it's been like 20 years since I watched it, but yeah, I used to watch wrestling. So he's like, do you know who Mick Foley is?
What?
And I was like, it's fucking Mankind. Of course I know who Mick Foley is. And he goes, well, I had to stop you because I've seen you pass by 3 or 4 times so far, and you look so much like him. And at first I was like, oh, that's cool. But then a split second later, I'm like, he looks mangled as fuck. He's got
twice your size.
Yeah, he's got a crooked fucking smile. He's missing all kinds of fucking teeth. I was like, you asshole.
Missing an ear.
Yeah. But he was talking mostly about, I guess, like the way my hair looked that day and my beard and everything. He's like, could I take, like, he's like, I'm from a Quebec wrestling league. Could I take a picture with you? And I was like, I mean, I guess, dickhead. Like, at this point, I'm pissed because I'm like, I look like you're implying I look like a mangled old like fucking guy who could barely walk. So he's like, can you do a smile like Mick Foley? And I was like, how the fuck do you do that? So I did the most crooked fucking one eye open smile I could think of. And he's like, oh, thank you so much. And he walked away, and I'm like, dick, like I didn't know how to react.
You know, he's showing all his friends this. He's like, look at the guy I met.
I met Mick Foley. He's like, fuck you, you asshole.
And they're all playing up to it like, yeah, sure, he really looks like Mick. No, you don't.
There's this guy I met. He's cosplaying as Mick Foley.
Yeah. Oh, that's what I wanted to say to you, because Emmy
glitched out and freaked out there.
I thought she was like, no, that's it, the show's over. Okay, last little bit, and I promise it's like, that's it. So when I posted the picture of the pictures that we were taking with John Glover, Crow noticed there was like a no camera sign behind my head. So he was asking if it was a happy accident that it was there, but we were taking a picture, or if I had positioned it that way on purpose. And no, those signs were up to basically just say like you're not supposed to be taking pictures if you haven't paid or whatever. But in one of the pictures, I'm almost positive I posted it to the Discord. I just don't know what channel. What?
No, the picture you're talking about. I'm hoping it's the Poison Ivy one.
No, it's one of the ones with John Glover, but where we're comparing phones or pictures on our phones. You can see one of the volunteers. She's going to my friend like this, like, you're not supposed to take that fucking picture. So she snapped it real quick, and then she put the phone down. So she almost got.
Ivy picture has the little boy. Teenage
boy,
where
he's looking, but his mom's right next to him. I think X's was the one who pointed that one out.
Yeah, that was funny.
But yeah, so I posed for a picture with this girl cosplaying as Poison Ivy, and in one of the pictures, because there was only 2. You see this kid like looking like this, and his mom's right next to him, but she doesn't notice it. And I hadn't even noticed it until X's, like, I guess she saved the picture and then blew up, just like she cropped that. So I thought that was pretty funny. So I don't know if anybody else has anything to add. I think I've kept you all here long enough with my stories of just utter disbelief. I don't know how else to put it.
So what are we doing next week?
So because I had Comic-Con this weekend and I massively failed Emmy and was not able to take part in that watch party, and because you've been asking for it for so long, we will do the watch party this weekend and then discuss it next week, along with Fubar, which is a show on Netflix starring Arnold Schwarzenegger. So those will be the movie and the show that we discuss next week. So anybody who wants to be there, 9:30 Eastern next week, we will be having that discussion. Anybody who is really into comedy, make sure you're back here 8:30 p.m. Thursday night for Comedy Night in the Metaverse. It is the absolute best comedy show in VR. Forget Horizon Worlds, in VR. And then anybody who's looking to get into voice acting or anything like that, on Sundays, we just had our inaugural show or class on this Sunday past. So it's going to be every Sunday at 9:30. The teacher is absolutely amazing. He works with everybody in the crowd. He brings people up, gives you scripts and
I
everything.
love you, Kristen.
Kirsten.
Kirsten,
whatever.
She's muted. Great teacher. And I mean, I had probably the most fun I'd had in VR in a while on Sunday night. So make sure you guys come for that. And then, of course, we've got Joke Club at 7:30 Eastern next week, right before Beta Show at 8:30, where it's an open mic for starting comics, season comics, trying out new stuff. So make sure you guys like the Discord, like and save the world, and we will see you guys next week. Thank you so much for coming.
Yay.
Did I get all the times right, Simon?
Good job, Spider.
I think it's the first time I would have gotten all the times right.
Dropped your
Sorry
coffee.
about that. Yeah, man. That's a big ass list you got through. Cheers.
Wind was like, when you were at Comic-Con, did you throw your arms up and you were surprised when no confetti came out?
Yeah, you couldn't even humor her. You're like, no.
Well, it's because I was actually honestly thinking about it, and I was like, no, like I was like, did I do that?
Viewers at home, you see? Can you believe this?
It's okay.
All people on the stream.
You know. That's
Hi, everybody on the stream.
okay.
Bye, everybody on the stream. Mostly me.
Oh.
See, and I would have gone all the way to Montreal if I had known that you were going to be
Lulu.
there. You could.
Well, that's why I was surprised that you didn't know, because I've been saying it for weeks.
I just, I
Emmy,
didn't. It just
oh, by the way,
didn't
thank you for
really
coming.
register that you were in Montreal. That's why when you said it
okay.
a while ago,
Emmy
I was
the
like,
one who,
in Montreal?
made
Are
it
you
work.
serious?
I don't know if it would be any
I was like,
quieter,
are you serious?
out
In
there.
Montreal?
She was
And
over
I
in,
had
your
just
Memorial
the
Green
week
House.
before
She
turned
absolutely
down
loved it.
Oh no.
tickets. Well, a ticket. I was going to go with her
And
because she
splashes.
lives right over the border.
Well,
So I was
did
just
you
gonna-
try messaging her back and see if she'd given it
Absolutely,
away?
I did as soon as I.
Okay.
Actually, I don't even think I was off VR, and I was like on my phone texting her. Did you find some? She's like, oh, they're gone.
Oh no.
Yeah, like you said,
Oh, that's too bad.
Yeah.
Great show, guys. That was a lot of fun.
Thank you for sharing the stories. I am very jealous. Very, very jealous.
I'm sorry, son.
Oh, you came to stop the music? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm out of change. I don't have any spare change. For
Is that a tripwire? What is that?
Yeah.
Maybe just a.
Hey, thanks for stopping
Well,
out.
I can put a joke in. It's okay.
Did you,
maybe
did you enjoy the few
one
minutes?
liner.
Yeah, one liner joke.
known what they were
Yeah,
talking
just like
about.
I just invented the forward.
I was just like,
the forward moonwalk.
Comic-Con.
Oh my God, Simon shows up now.
I'm still working on it. It's going to be.
Well, that's it.
nice.
You came so late in the show that it was we had already gotten into all that.
There we go.
Did anyone say thanks to Mad for joining Discord?
I did.
Oh, good job. Good job.
I did.
I meant to add it today, but I got sidetracked.
I threw a mug in.
Okay,
Oh,
so-
Lulu, Emmy,
No,
Emmy,
get
Emmy,
mug.
come here. You have to
You're
unmute
muted,
yourself.
by the way.
Oh no!
Oh.
Stop mugging people.
So Lulu is the one that we met at the greenhouse yesterday.
Pro just said that.
Oh, sorry. My
Took all your
apologies.
glory
Fuck.
this time.
It's okay.
Nah.
Emmy.
Okay, I'm good. So, what is there a crow button now?
There is a pro button,
Yay! You got crow.
Oh, in the booth?
Oh, is that what that noise was? I thought it was the assholes by me.
Oh yes! I was wondering what the fuck that was.
Yeah, I thought it was the
dying
kids
crow.
by me.
Oh my god. That is so awesome.
Wrong. It's been
I'm
chased
fingering the
for
crow.
of my life.
That's so cool.
I'm recording. Actually, yeah. Bunch of recording.
So, what is the Texas story?
Love it.
Look at that.
Hey Simon, can you come to the green
He's
room with me
taking
real
over
quick?
the place.
Yes,
They're everywhere.
Conspiracy comic.
They're everywhere.
Oh,
God, it makes me think of that freaking
Not-
scary movie, The Birds.
Well, I don't know. Some of them are
Oh
kind
my
of.
god, thank you.
Can you
Probably
explain?
I tried to give
Can
you
you
a-
explain the Texas 3 to Lulu better than I
Okay,
can?
so the Texas 3 podcast, it's 3 Texas comedians, Jack Schutze, Tiger Ruiz, and Drew Blues. They talk about just current events going on. I can't remember what they talked about the last time. I know that I think the time for that they talked about the orgas that were attacking. I'm thinking that it was the alien on
the ancient
what
frog
planet
coming
the-
back to life.
Oh yeah, there was that one too. So there's different conspiracy theories, but there's also just a lot of current events going on. And if you had something that you wanted to discuss with them, sometimes they'll even just take requests from the crowd
Spider.
and just get people's opinions about whatever. But it is every other Wednesday at 9:00, and I believe that's going to be next Wednesday, isn't it?
Yeah, next Wednesday, not tomorrow. But
Yeah, okay.
this week we've got Comedy Night in the Metaverse every Thursday at 8:30 Eastern.